There we go. So I went to l2a2. You might have heard that on a previous podcast. I'm not sure of the order of how it goes in, but I'm back with Dave, and we're going to debrief on the challenges he set me. Can you remember what they were, Dave?
Hi Jim, hi everybody. Yeah, let's see what the first one was. Can you do or did you manage to achieve a 180? I already know the answer to this question. Did you manage to achieve a 180 jump?
Yeah, I did. The one I sent you, actually, I'm gonna say that wasn't my best one. It was just quite a cool spot to do it,
Yeah.
and that was obviously a shutter photo, and I picked the best looking one. But I did. I worked on that, and I kind of because I was trying to twist before I popped, and kind of developed it. I worked out how to kind of jump and then kind of bring myself round. So I was getting it quite. I was quite pleased with myself towards the end of that particular trick. I was almost say I was proud of myself.
What was your sequence for learning it? Did you do it how I suggested it, so that you did it on the flat first, or did you just go for it?
Yeah, I practiced like just off the drag. On the top of the glacier, there's a nice. It's quite domey, and on the top it's quite flat, a good plateau. So I could
Mm.
practice on my way to the steeper stuff, and then there were some nice little, side lumps to kind of hit, and then use that
Yeah.
to get a bit more height.
You don't
For me,
need
it's
that
not
much
about the
of a
actual doing
kicker.
it, Dave. It's about overcoming the embarrassment of trying to do it at the age of 40 when there's loads of super hot skiers hanging around near the park.
It's nice. It's a nice thing to have in your locker, though. Like if you can just bust out a 180 at will. Like, imagine how amazed your kids are going to be. Like when you go skiing with them.
I think I've
Um,
probably got a year of them being amazed by that, yeah.
that's all right. I mean, that's enough. That's enough. They're going to think you're a god. But and also the other thing about that is if you can do a 180, you don't need that much. You don't even need a kicker to do it. You can do it off anything. Because if you can do it on the flat standing still, you can pop it off of anything you like. A little lump in the snow or whatever, as long as it's kind of you've got somewhere to land. That's the main thing. And the skis you were on looked like they were twin tips, so it was even easier.
Yeah, they were a nice pair of skis, actually. I really enjoyed them. I'm really interested about the progression of skis, but maybe that's another conversation. And how I use them. They were cool skis. I enjoyed them. What was the next task? How did I do?
Was it skiing backwards?
Yes, it was.
Skiing backwards in a basic parallel. How was that? Did you use the
That
twin tips for that too?
I used them all the time I was up on the glacier.
Okay.
I didn't just take up skis just to practice 180s. That would be excessive, self-indulgent, and
Yeah.
optimistic. Um, I found that skiing backwards tricky for two
Mm.
reasons. One, when I go skiing with me, I'm impatient and I actually just want to go skiing. And you can imagine that trying to hold myself back by practicing to go backwards skiing on this particular occasion was quite mentally demanding. I kept
Mm.
trying it, um, and I was listening to what you said in my head about turning, looking on the outside ski. Is that right?
Yeah, over the outside shoulder. Yeah.
Looking at the overside shoulder. So I do that, and then it get a bit steeper, and I got a bit scared. So I was practicing it. I was
Mm.
slowly getting better, but I think it's something you need to. It's not a 5 minute learning curve. That's a steep learning curve for me, I think.
Yeah, it sure is, and it's funny actually for one of the final exams that we had to do for to get my highest level exams a few years ago now, that it was the one thing that we had to do that I really struggled with, and with the Swiss they ask you to be able to carve backwards, and that's when you add in that much speed and that much steepness, so their criteria is can you carve down something backwards on a pair of slalom skis, and it's a red steepness slope. It's quite scary, especially that bit where you're going backwards. Where you're looking over from one shoulder and then you have to turn to the other one. There's a period where you're completely going backwards and you can't see where you're going, and you have to have that bit in order to allow the skis to settle before you go around the other way. My God, like it's that bit is the bit that gets me. It's sort of it's a bit scary every time. You add in
It feels
speed and
incredibly unnatural, and I would compare it to mono skiing. Like you've got to, like, when you're skiing forwards, you can lose a rhythm, right? And you can feel a bit out of it and you can regain it. Whereas I
Yeah,
found when I tried mono skiing, you really got to settle into a rhythm and
yeah,
be in the right place at the right time. And I was finding the same thing when I was trying to ski backwards because had to put my body and my head and position myself to be able to flow it because I wasn't able to recover. Like if I went off really fast, I'm not going
yeah.
to be able to quickly do a turn straight away. So I found it, it was quite challenging
Mm.
for me, but I'm going to keep persisting with it.
It can be challenging also when the slope is off camber. So if you've got one side that's kind of, a bit more down than the other side, it's really, really tricky to get it right. It's best practiced on a fairly even, gentle, shallow slope. But yeah, I'm pleased. What was your sequence? Did you try it in the snowplow first?
Yeah, I did try and snowplow at first, and then slowly brought it together. And then sometimes I just surprise myself and find that my skis were parallel.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's like, okay, brilliant, good. And then you went with your new cool ski mate Mike,
Yeah,
and was he up for a bit of synchro ski?
he had a similar response to me, and basically refused to do it. I did
Why?
follow. I did try and synchronize myself secretly behind some other people,
Yeah.
but it didn't really work for me. It's not quite the same thing. So I'll have to
All
try it with you, Dave. I think we'll have to save that for you.
right. Okay. You and me will do it, and we'll report back
But to
on
make
us.
up for that, Dave, to make up for that, I did set myself another challenge.
All
There
right.
was a really nice sequence of medium red kickers,
No
like
way.
four in a row. They weren't huge, but they was fairly big for my
Yeah.
adult level of brain. Um, but they were almost perfectly spaced, so that you went over the first one, and then the next
Yeah.
time you went over it, the second one was almost identical, so you could feel the same movement as you went through it,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and the shoulder. And my challenge was to make sure I was landing on the downslope
Okay. Always
and
good.
nice and tidy. And I did it. I did it loads. And towards the end, I was getting really clean lift off, really clean landings, putting the stomping the back down as I landed, and I even got a grab.
No way. That's brilliant.
Yes way.
Oh, I
That
didn't know there was such an extensive stone park. I would have set you some old school trick challenges.
Oh man, that is a good. It was a really good park there.
Oh wow. Right. Okay. I'm sorry I couldn't come this time. I'd love to come. I'm going to look in my
Good
diary
stuff.
and we'll try and find a spot.
And then I've got a
Um,
challenge for you if you do come. Something
mm,
I failed out miserably. I got given a skateboard and I stood on it on a pump track, and I made it a whole 30 centimeters before I was on my side with a selection of teenagers and under 10s laughing at me.
oh my God.
Got to try
You
these
don't have
things.
that. You don't have that embarrassment gene, do you? That self-consciousness thing. You just go for it.
I do. I have that, and I didn't carry on. But anyway, Dave, thank you very
Well,
much for the challenges. I look forward to
yeah.
synchro skiing with you soon.
All right, mate. Well done, and see you later. Bye, everyone.